Good morning from central southern Ohio, and my name is Andre, and this is the video and the tour of this 1973 BMW 3.0 CS. So the story is it was sitting here in this barn since 1987. I was told it was driven in. The gentleman who owns it has many other cars, and it was something, you know, literally over 30 years ago, give or take. So it's got a lot of grime and dust, and it's kind of unknown condition. I did rummage through the receipts, and it's a California car, and he only had it maybe a year before he put it in this barn on this farm that he also happens to own. And he owned a car dealership, and so he would buy, sell, stash various vehicles, and so he stashed this one in the barn, and now he's in his 80s and still isn't being used. So I, through a friend of a friend, and interesting situation, which has been just awesome, here I am running through it, and I removed 30 years of grime off the body yesterday. Took a bit of energy, and I'm still not done, and I have to get rolling here in just a couple hours. So I'm making a more dedicated, cleaner, more dedicated video on this specific car this morning. So, and it's basically in exactly the same shape as the video I posted yesterday, where I run through both a little bit more frantically before the sunset yesterday. So it's in absolutely great shape. I profiled all the rot in the other video. I did both cars together. So on this side, the only rot is behind the strut tower brace. I'll show you that when I pop the hood and show you the interior. So, oh, there's a spot down here, a couple little bubbles that you can see, and I have no idea how bad that is, or if they're just simple. I don't know if anything drained out into there or not and got clogged up. Trunk lid is in great shape. Trunk seal is in great shape. Mice did not get into the trunk or into the body. It feels like this BMW is much tighter fitment in terms of literally mice not being able to get in here, which is just awesome. Original toolkit, a couple of the little bits that fell out. There's the original air cleaner cover, whatever, the actual air cleaners, air filters, parts for the top of the Weber, dual downdraft Webers, and then the tool kit, the Hayco screwdrivers there, all of that. So pretty exciting. There is a break in the plastic there, so these are really hard to find, as you probably know. One will have to kind of jerry rig to make that work, but I have a solution for that. I might actually even have one of these lying around myself. And on this side, no rot in the rear whatsoever. Both doors have some minor surface rust just on the bottom. Not terminal or not bad really at all, which is great. And there is a little bit of cracking around that door lock. And really the really notable rust is around the sunroof. Once here, decent spot here, another bubble there. Looks like here's another little bubble right here. So really damage from the sunroof, and the drains go down. They often collect here, but usually collect and pull down here from the sunroof. So one can see that, there's a little bit of rust here. It's all original. So all the paint, everything is all original. And you can see there is some rust down there. So basically I think that there's probably some rust on this right side, just to be completely transparent. So this car is what it is. As we all know, these things go for a fortune in good restored shape, and just kind of taking offers. But it has to be reasonable. We have a number kind of in mind, and I've already had a couple offers that aren't too far off. But the biggest advantage for us is if somebody makes an offer and buys that one as well as this one. And anyways, the interior on this car is in great shape. Some of the leather is starting to get old and crack. It's gotten a lot better smelling in here since I opened it up. Doesn't quite smell as mildewy and moldy. Like right now, it's actually rather pleasant. The dash is perfect. It needs to be cleaned, of course. Everything needs to be cleaned. You can see, you know, some of the light mold and dust, and I mean, maybe that's mildew that's on here. Passenger side is fine. Door is fine. The rear seat, I put this in the other video, so I'm going to grab some of this dew off of the car. This stuff just wipes right off, so it's really easy. Almost embarrassing that I didn't get to that, but it is what it is. Had a nice 80s stereo, and it has a nice 80s stereo cassette deck. And like I said, this was stored in 87, 88, something like that. And he only had it for about a year, so it only really saw 1 year of Ohio, and never drove it in the winter, things like that. It was one of many of his cars. So let's just pop the hood. So there was a pretty considerable mice presence in here. So all down in here were mice, and then in the air cleaner. So just, again, being completely transparent, these are M30s. Where I live in Salt Lake City, it feels like M30s grow on trees, unused, unwanted M30s. But I mean, this is a numbers matching, completely original. Everything is intact. You know, like I said, stored since 87, give or take. So you saw the air cleaner in the back. These are Weber downdrafts, dual. You can get these brand new. They're not very expensive. I think, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe 400 bucks, maybe less. I don't really know. Depends where you get them from. They're genuine Webers, made in Spain now. These ones here are probably the original, made in Italy. They can also be rebuilt. So really not a big deal. And just honestly no idea what condition it's in. It's I mean, if it's running or not. It's an automatic. These automatics, according to what I know, are fairly robust. So I think that they're just fine. It has the bigger diff in the rear, all of that. So, you know, drivetrain in my opinion on this is fairly easy. But the body is where the primary issue is. These things just had, you know, fairly poor rust due to the quality of the steel they were using in the early 70s. So these are the only two real rust holes in the underbody, or under the hood. And you can see there's my fingernail. I have fairly large. My fingernail's about the size of a dime, just for your consideration there. So you can kind of see those holes. There's just these two here, and that I actually pushed those through when I was testing with a screwdriver, so they weren't visible. So they're pretty mild, and so I mean, one would have to just replace this piece or panel or work, but it wouldn't be a ton of work. That's kind of a profile of this. If you have any questions, my contact information is in the comment section, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. Thank you.